Christmas time is here, happiness and cheer, fun for all the children call their favorite time of year. Snowflakes in the air, carols everywhere, olden times and ancient rhymes of love and dreams to share. Sleigh bells in the air, beauty everywhere, Yuletide by the fireside, and joyful memories there. Christmas time is here, families drawing near. Oh, that we could always see such spirit through the year. Sleigh bells in the air, beauty everywhere, Yuletide by the fireside, and joyful memories there. Christmas time is here, families drawing near. Oh, that we could always see such spirit through the year. Oh, that we could always see such spirit through the year.
Happy holidays, yes. Thank you, Sean. Wow. Let's see. See, we're gonna have a little prop from my friend. Yes. There we go. All right. So Christmas time is here. Yes. Happy holidays, whatever it is that you're celebrating in this month. It is all about the awakening, your awakening, the awakening of the planet. But isn't it, as the song said, wouldn't it be great to have this all year long? Because that's really what spirituality is. It isn't about a certain day, or a certain person, a certain experience. It's about your life. And that's why we come together, and we continue to come together to remind ourselves of that truth, and then also notice how you're living in your truth more and more. All right, you find that as you practice this way of living, you will find yourself being kinder, more accepting, more sort of living in this place of the freedom that spiritual awakening gives you. So it says, we have heard that Christmas is for the children, that these holidays often are for the children. And today we're looking at the concept, the energy of love. I'll light the Advent candles in a moment, but we've looked at hope and peace and now love. And I'd like to tell you some sayings from 4 to 7-year-olds around love, right? And I'd like the little kid in you to listen to these statements. Okay, Noelle, age 7, says that love is when you tell a guy you like his shirt, then he wears it every day. Love is like a little old woman and a little old man who are still friends even after they know each other so well. Love is when your puppy licks your face even after you've left him alone all day. As a very evolved child says, if you want to learn to love better, you should start with a friend you don't like. Love is, I know my older sister loves me because she gives me all her old clothes. And she has to go out and buy new ones. That's Lauren, age 4. I'm glad I was the oldest. And finally, Bobby, about Christmas, he says, love is what's in the room with you at Christmas once you stop opening the presents and listen. You know, those kids have such wisdom. And the child in all of us is what the wisdom that gets ignited every time when we're talking about these concepts of hope and peace and love. And so I will use our sacred clicker, like from the days of old, and we'll light these candles. The first one is of hope that we talked about a couple weeks ago. And the second candle of Advent is peace. And today we're going to be talking about love. And these are all, Advent represents the time before Christmas. They are part of one's awakening. So we look at these ideas as attributes of yourself, the way that we can be more hopeful, more faithful, more peaceful, and that the love that is within us, that we're living it more. Again, as we know at Unity, these aren't things that we grasp from the outside. There's energy in us that needs to be lived and released. You know, and if we look at our stories of Christmas, certainly our current stories, we have the Scrooge that went from living very miserly and then started to recognize how it had affected his past and his present and will affect his future. As we talk about here, that consciousness of being small and of withholding. And then our friend the Grinch that was that lived at the top of Mount Crumpet and was very unhappy that the Who's down in Whoville seemed a lot happier than he was, and that they would celebrate this time called Christmas. And he was up at the top of Mount Crumpet hating Christmas. And why did the Grinch hate Christmas? Well, Dr. Seuss, one of my favorite metaphysicians, has this to say. Says, the Grinch hated Christmas, the whole Christmas season. Now, please don't ask why. No one knows quite the reason. It could be, perhaps, that his shoes were too tight. It could be his head wasn't screwed on quite right. But I think that the most likely reason of all may have been that his heart was 2 sizes too small. And this is our opportunity with Christmas, is that we allow love to open our hearts. We know what that feels like when our heart feels 2 sizes too small. It is that feeling of constriction, the feeling of not being part of the spiritual experience. It's the place of feeling isolated. It's the feeling of feeling lonely. And my gosh, with this pandemic, we're really wanting to use these skills of getting beyond the place of the smallness. That's why we're coming together to shift this idea, not only of Christmas, but of your life. You know, if you look at the idea of what the word Christmas means, it's really, the Mas means a celebration. So it's a celebration of the Christ consciousness that as Jesus was born, as we were all born, the consciousness that not only he lived, but that he taught and then said, these things and greater shall you do. So we may have some kind of funny ideas about Christmas. We have a lot of traditions, and some of them are helpful, but sometimes instead of thinking about an awakening, it might be that you're thinking about what gift should I buy for that person? And is that person going to give me a gift? And then what should I be giving them? And how do I do all this? And I guess it's going to be on Amazon this year. And we can get into that kind of conversation. Or should I put lights up or decorations up because nobody's going to come over this year? Should I do that? Can I make plans with these people? Can I make plans with these people? How many Zoom conversations can I have? What am I going to do about that? And should I wear everything red in my closet? Maybe that's just me, but all right. So it's these conversations that really don't have much to do with spiritual awakening. When I went to a coffee shop this week, and there was a Santa, and then a sign that said clean pens, and then some note paper. So you could write something to Santa and put it in Santa, there's a little slot. And I thought, I wonder how many people are writing spiritual awakening. Because, we probably say, I'd like, this person to change, or I'd like to have, another car, or more health, or these kind of things. But we recognize that maybe we're not really looking at the core message of this holiday, which is awakening. So my question is, what if we went into Christmas wanting nothing but a greater awakening? So I wonder if we went into Christmas not wanting anything but a greater awakening, a spiritual awakening. It's a wonderful way to understand that this then isn't about a specific moment. I know Christmas will be very different. The day, the 25th, perhaps for others. I know usually my mom comes and is with me on every other year, because the every other year, then the whole group gets together. And that won't be happening. And I definitely have sadness around this. But I recognize that the connection really is with my mom. The love is what's important. And so that's what I want to hone in on. We will definitely talk over Zoom and all of these things. But what I'm recognizing is if we can get too caught up in what it should be, we miss what it is. And that's the idea of love that we're going to talk about today, that love is. It's like we can say God is, and people want to know, what is God and what is love? And so we understand that it is a moving energy that is in all of us and that allows us to live this life and to feel the freedom and the connectedness. Love is confusing, yes, because our love that may be just about romantic love. We hear these songs, we've got love is a many splendored thing. And then we have love hurts. And then we have I'll never fall in love again. All right, so we know that's not the love we're talking about, where it's on and it's off and it's good and it's bad and it has people are right and they're wrong. It really is this, like the child, the birth. That's why we talk about the birth. And Jesus did come as an infant, as we all did, to have this innocence, this love that just is. So love is, and I'd like to tell you a little bit about this unconditional love, this spiritual love. You can't control it. You can't make it happen to someone else. Because when we experience love, sometimes we want to, I want that person to be happier. It really is. It's sourced in individuals. And you'll notice for most people, a lot of people, it's like some kind of crisis has to happen in their life for them to source that. Because we're taught in different ways that love is something outside of us rather than within us. It often can be messy and inconvenient. It is what we are. It's the essence of what we are. It can't be stored up. I'm just going to save all this love and someday maybe I'll share it. That it can't be stored up. It has to be shared. If you deny its presence, you will not win. People that say, I'm never going to trust again. I'm never going to, you don't win. That's why that's why the example of Scrooge, that's why the example of the Grinch, you won't win. This won't end up being something that you somehow feel better. I'm going to be miserable long enough and then I'm going to have an awakening. It doesn't work like that. The feeling we all know this, whether it's seeing a sunset or it is having a conversation with a friend that is very free and open, that it's a feeling of connection. A feeling of connection. So I find what we're doing a lot with love Of Course in Miracles says this, and it is so true, that we kind of move from fear to love. There's two different places. We can be in fear or we can be in love, and they're just states of consciousness. And if we look at the nativity story, it's all about moving from fear to love. It's all about moving from fear to love. All of these stories, the Bible stories in unity, are interpreted symbolically. So Mary represents that feminine nature of all of us. And so Mary is visited by a messenger, the angel Gabriel, and she's told that she's going to have a child. And she's a virgin, and she doesn't quite understand how that's going to work. And she's not going to only have a child, she's going to have the Son of God. So she is very unclear how this is happening and doesn't really believe it. But the symbolism is that we're all birthing this consciousness, this Christ consciousness. And so what is it in you that continues to be born, whether it's a talent or a gift? And so Mary has a conversation with the angel, and basically, the angel is saying to her, fear not, trust that you've been chosen, that you are to deliver this Son of God, this message, this consciousness. And at the end of their conversation, Mary says, I am the Lord's servant. Let everything you've said happen to me. And what she's saying through that, and again, it is our feminine nature, is she's saying, I am an instrument through which spirit unfolds. And let everything happen the way it is supposed to. Probably in today's vernacular, it might be said, thy will be done. This idea of really allowing God, love, consciousness to have its way with you. What if that's what we brought to Christmas? Only the wanting of this greater awakening for this season, this greater awakening, because we know this feminine spirit, this feminine energy that's in all of us, like Mary said, let it be done. I am a servant of spirit. And then, of course, she gets to go and talk to Joseph, which represents the masculine part of all of us that is more practical and is the planner and is the intellectual. And we don't really know what that conversation looked like, but you can imagine Joseph was sort of, what? Right? How does this work? Yes, I don't know about this, Mary. We were, supposed to be married here, and now you're already having a baby. Anyway, in today's world, it would be, kind of like one of the housewives of Beverly Hills or something. But it would have been, these conversations that are, unclear. But the masculine part in this story and in your life gets to follow the feminine aspect. The masculine, the planner, it follows the feminine. And this is one of the stories where it absolutely happens. And so they're moving all the time from fear to love. From fear to love. And then after Joseph comes along with the story and sees the bigger picture, then they have to go from Nazareth to Bethlehem because he has to go and be in the place where he pays taxes. Okay, so there's that story. But anyway, so they have to go across this, and here she's pregnant. This isn't like the drive to the hospital or that you've practiced your Lamaze classes. This is two people, this is a pregnant person and the support person, going across a very uncomfortable situation. And I would suggest that is how it is in our awakening, that we are combining the willingness of the feminine, the practicalness of the masculine in all of us, and that it often can feel very uncomfortable as love is wanting to reveal itself through us. And you could think of a circumstance right now in your life where you're wanting to know how to love more. Might be a difficult relative, might be a health challenge, might be a financial challenge. But how is it that there's a trust, like Mary, thy will be done, something bigger, something more true? So Jesus, they go on and they're on this journey and they get to the inn. The Son of God's going to be born, and the innkeeper says what? There's no room here. There's no room here. So again, love can be inconvenient. Now, I always think about, after Jesus was born, what that innkeeper must have thought. You know, the ratings on his TripAdvisor must have been really horrible. You know, I am the innkeeper that did not let the Son of God be born here. I am the innkeeper that didn't let that consciousness in. And that's in all of us also. The innkeeper that is like, I'm never going to speak to that person again. I am too sad this holiday to have any joy. I am so overwhelmed with this pandemic, I don't want to listen to anything. And that's that innkeeper in all of us. It says there's no room for that kind of consciousness. And so Jesus is born in a very simple place, in a manger. And this is the idea, again, of this love being born, that it isn't about all of the stuff. It's about consciousness. Love is. And as Jesus came into the world, as his consciousness came into the world, as it is in you, something shifted. You know, I think it's fascinating to look back at your life and see all the ways that you have touched people, the ways that you have changed the world just by your presence. You might have had a child or a pet or made a garden. You know, you have changed the world with the consciousness of you. And what did Jesus teach? I mean, Jesus taught love. He lived it, he taught it. And so when people would say, what is the commandments, Jesus? What is it that you're teaching? He said, there's only 2 commandments. And he said, you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind. This is the first and greatest commandment. And the second is you shall love your neighbor as yourself. So metaphysically, Lord means awakened one. So again, that awakened one with you, that the most important thing is that you love this love in you with all your heart and all your soul and all your mind, that you're committed to the awakening. If it's your singing, if it's your dancing, if it's your playing, if it's your parenting, your gardening, whatever it is that allows you to feel that connection. And secondly, that you treat your neighbor as yourself. So the biggest part of this is, how do you treat yourself? You know, we have the golden rule, treat others like you treat yourself or like you would want to be treated. So this, again, is all this internal consciousness, internal dialogue that has to do with the celebration of this Christ consciousness, of this love. You know, as I have said, I used to work as a flight attendant, and it was fascinating when we would do that very spiritual exercise of the oxygen mask, because we always want to help others, but if we're not putting on our own oxygen mask, we are of no use. So the idea is, how are you loving yourself? How are you letting love come through? How are you letting this Christmas be about your own spiritual awakening? Jesus also invited us to love our enemies. So perhaps one of the things you may be doing this season is to look into, where do I find tightness with people, with anyone in my life? How is it that I can reflect on what are they about, or sending love, or having compassion, and noticing how it shifts you? That might be your Christmas. So I wanted to show some beautiful examples, because I think we need examples of people, especially during this time. This year has been the most difficult for almost anyone. It's certainly been the most different. It's been 100 years since something like this happened. And so there were people, and many of them are you, that have really sourced something new, have allowed that love to come through, and it is often and always in service to others. So I have a quick video about kindness during the pandemic, and I'd like you to see how these folks are living their gift of love.
I know that the elderly are having trouble going to the supermarkets, so I've decided I will be the cheeky fairy, giving free toilet paper in one refrigerator bag.
Sadly, some parcels were stolen from the lobby, and as the postmen are very busy, so I thought it would be a good idea to collect and deliver all the parcels.
Going back to the Bunnings car park and fitted the starter motor for him. And he goes, how much are you? I said, oh, don't worry about it, it's free of charge, mate.
So we donated 10 kilos of chocolates to the hospital staff.
Is my tata just as a superhero?
And why is your tata a superhero?
Because he's working hard and helping everyone during COVID-19. He works at a chemist and a supermarket.
And so we prepared 100 meals this week, and we plan on doing the same thing each week while we can keep accessing the groceries.
Last Thursday when I went to the letterbox, I found a piece of paper inside with a note on the front saying, "Had some luck, paying it forward." This totally blew me away and made me cry because financially I've been struggling so bad.
We put together 120 boxes of essentials for the household. We distributed these throughout New South Wales and Sydney.
We've all come together essentially just to help one another, all of those people in the community who are our neighbours.
We printed out a note, went down to all our neighbours on our street, just offering them to connect with us as we're all stuck inside. We set up a WhatsApp group, and we've now got about 20 of our neighbours, many of whom we've never met before.
I think everyone should help one another.
A stranger to do this restored my faith in humanity.
The kindness to me is giving a person a hand in life.
Every single time we do something good for others, it takes the focus off ourselves. It takes away that doom and gloom that's engulfing everybody at the moment.
The message is clear. It's that we're here and we're standing together.
Beautiful. And you can feel that sense of, oh my gosh, yes, that is in me. I'm really honored to live here in Santa Barbara because, as you all know, it has more nonprofit groups than any other city in the nation. So there's so much of this giving nature, of giving back. And so I want to thank you for supporting Unity of Santa Barbara as you do, because we are using this property as, for many, Showers of Blessings uses it for giving showers to the homeless, our parking lot. And I wanted to tell you about another gentleman here in our community that, again, has sourced this love that has gone beyond this time during the pandemic. And Jennifer Somerville introduced me to Adam McCaig, who is running an organization now called Adam's Angels. But he, in March, he's a real estate agent, and the pandemic, for him, he was a non-essential worker. So he realized that he wanted to bring food to the elderly that he knew, and he started going to the grocery store to bring food to people, and he recognized the grocery stores were pretty empty, and so he had to go to 4 or 5 stores to get the food that he wanted, and he realized the need for this experience of giving food to not only the elderly, the homeless. He would show up sometimes he said he showed up at the courthouse one night and that the woman he was looking for wasn't there, but he met all these other people that were unhoused and wanted to be able to create something. So he said he saw the need, and he had this crew started coming together called Adam's Angels that has now expanded into a loose confederation of about 50 core volunteers and about 150 in all. They pick up and deliver fresh, clean clothes to people living in the parks, on the waterfront, and near the freeway off ramps. Once a week, they prepare and serve dinners at Pershing Park. And so they are going to be using our parking lot on Christmas Day to deliver these, or to give meals to the homeless. And it is a wonderful way, as we can see, that Adam has allowed love to have its way with him. He said to me when I called him, I said, how long has this been going on? And he said, it started in March, and it just happened to me. It just happened to me. And he says at the end here, he says, also there is a group here that has given, it's the EOS nightclub that's giving them their space to create and put their food together. And so he said that I don't know where this is going to lead me, but it's not going to let me stop. He said, I wake up every morning thinking, what's going to happen today? It's exciting. And that's when I talked to him about being here at Christmas. He said, it's so exciting. It's so fun. And I recognize that this is certainly benefiting so many people in Santa Barbara, but the one who's also recognizing the love that he is Adam. Yeah, so I just invite us during this time to see where it is that you want to give back, see where it is that love can move within you. I want to end with the story of my little friend because the Grinch, thought that he could steal all the stuff from the Who's, take all their presents, take all their stuff, and that would wreck their Christmas. And so he goes up to the top of Mount Crumpet to dump it, all the stuff, and he leans over to listen to the Who's because he wants to hear the Who's say boo-hoo. And he doesn't hear the boo-hoo at all. What he hears is singing. Before the masks, what he hears is singing. And it is written by Dr. Seuss that as the Grinch, with his Grinch feet ice cold in the snow, stood puzzling and puzzling, how could it be so? It came without ribbons. It came without tags. It came without packages, boxes, or bags. And he puzzled 3 hours till his puzzler was sore. And the Grinch thought of something he hadn't before. Maybe Christmas, he thought, doesn't come from a store. Maybe Christmas, he thought, means a little bit more. And there's something that happens with the Grinch that day, and I don't know if we can pick it up on a mic, but this Grinch has, let's see, I wonder if it'll work. Let's see here.
And what happened then? Well, in Whoville, they say that the Grinch's small heart grew 3 sizes that day.
Yes, so in Whoville, they say that the Grinch's small heart grew 3 sizes that day. So this is our message of Christmas. It's certainly our message of love, to see the places that feel constricted and feel the stories, the beliefs that you have going on, and to let that heart that might have grown in a bit small, or certainly a bit challenged with the pandemic, to let it grow 3 sizes. And let this Christmas be one that is extraordinary because you are living in that love, in that Christ consciousness. Because friends, all we need is love. And so it is. Yay. So I'll tell you what we're shifting. What we are shifting is our vibration. All right, and so tonight we are going to have a wonderful vibrational shift, but we're offering it also during our service. A guy that you might have known back there with headsets on our AV team is also a gonger, a musician, a yogi. There's so many gifts everybody has here. And so Sven Holcomb is going to lead us in a meditation of sound, of shift, and so we can shift from any Grinch-like energy to an open heart. So let us welcome Sven Holcomb.
So in a lot of traditions, sound and music is pretty core to ceremony, and in yoga, sound and chanting is considered the asana of the heart, or for the heart. So the practice of just singing and chanting or oming is meant to, among other things, open the heart. So take a moment now and just get comfortable and just sort of tune in to the vibrations of sound. And gongs are especially magical, and crystal bowls, because they have overtones, and all these textures and rich timbres. And our brain and our spirit sort of attunes to those overtones and those pitches. So take a moment and just enjoy that, and allow yourself to just kind of drift with the sound of the gongs and the bells and so forth. Just take a couple deep breaths as you kind of return, and just enjoy this moment of relaxation and calmness, and just remember that sound has the power to really shift your energy, not only emotionally but spiritually. So I encourage you all to tap into that resource and use it, because we all resonate at a frequency and we all benefit subconsciously and spiritually, emotionally from sound vibrations. So namaste.
I don't know about you folks, but I'm feeling very full. So Sven, thank you for sharing that and really creating almost a sense of abundance. It's like you cannot have listened to that without feeling more full. Which brings us to, we here at Unity of Santa Barbara have been blessed with many members, many people contributing to help us continue this wonderful work that we're doing. We want to be a stand for abundance at this time of year. I mean, the flowers, the voices, the music. And so we want to bring that beauty into the work that we do. And so we invite you to contribute to help us maintain this practice, this outreach, these many things that we do. There are many ways to give and to contribute and help us in the work that we do. For those of you are familiar with, and we had a screensaver earlier about the Giveify, which is an app that allows you to contribute to us, make a special mention. You can make contributions via our website. And for those of you like me who still like checks every so often, you can write out a check and send it to our office. But all of these are an expression of abundance. And it's truly, the gift is in the giving. As the story that was told about Adam and its angels. There's a man who started giving, and he's a bigger man now by having done it. And each of us who does this is our step, this is our opportunity. However you give, do it from a big place, a heartfelt place. And think of all of the things that you've received from Unity. This Unity, Unity Worldwide, the lessons, the chat rooms, the Zoom meetings, the book readings, and all of that has enriched us. And so come from that particular place and do what's right for you, do what feels right, whatever that is, to help us continue to do the message that we do. And let us bless these many channels and actions, and take for a moment the act of giving, and take it into your mind. Perhaps put your hand on your heart, or envision the action, and join me in really celebrating the gift of giving. And join me in saying, divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I share. And so, some beautiful music.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. Thank you. We're so blessed. So blessed to be here with all of you today and this year. And this last song that we're going to do is perfectly in sync with Reverend Heidi's message. Because the greatest gift you can discover is right within your heart. So. The air is cold, there's strings of lights, mistletoe, carolers spreading cheer. This holiday celebration comes one time a year. Family and friends far and near, they are the reason we all gather here. So don't get caught in the pressure of society this time of the year. The greatest gift you can discover is right within your heart. So find your heart this Christmas time. Children in anticipation, they make a list of their favorite things, patiently waiting for the night when Saint Nicholas will appear. Teach our children so they'll understand. They are the reason we all gather here. So spread the word out to every little girl and boy throughout the world. The greatest gift they can discover is right within their heart. Just give your heart this Christmas time. Spread the word out to every little girl and boy throughout the world. The greatest gift you can consider is right within your heart. So find your gift that's in your heart this Christmas time. This Christmas time. Yeah, yeah. Merry Christmas, y'all.
Thank you, Sean. Wow, beautiful. All right. I know. It's our very exciting time. The announcements, because you want to know what's going on around here. First of all, always go to our website, santabarbaraunity.org, to find everything, and you want to get on our weekly e-blast. That's for sure. So this evening, we are having a moment of Zen with Spin. Yeah, and so it is a wonderful way to find some groundedness in this time of lots and lots of energy. So it's going to be 5 o'clock online Pacific time. So you'll just go to our website. It's going to be live stream, santabarbaraunity.org. I guess that would mean it's also on Facebook. Okay, all right. So it's going to be on Facebook and on YouTube. But anyway, the tickets are $15 a piece or 2 for $20. So bring a friend. I know my whole family's getting on this thing, and it'll be good for them and me, yes. So then another thing, on this Wednesday, we're going to go on a caravan with our cars to see the Christmas lights of Santa Barbara. I did this in advance, so I won't get lost, but you'll have directions that will be given to you. But if you want to just come at 5:30 out in the back parking lot, we're going to go on a drive, and it will be a lot of illumination for all of us. Now, our big thing for Christmas is this wonderful Unity Singers Christmas concert. They have worked tirelessly, hours of home videos, some videos here, and beautiful, about an hour and a half of some incredible music, great talent. Big thanks to Russ Chafin and Noreen, and of course, everyone that's put together their songs. And so you want to get on Friday night, 7 o'clock Pacific, and just bring your whole group and watch this. There will be love offerings invited for our music program, but mainly just come and be with this amazing group of Unity singers. All right, Christmas and New Year's will both be at 5 p.m. They're going to be outside as we continue to have our outdoor area out there for candle lighting on Christmas Eve and a burning bowl on New Year's Eve. And you'll want to park in the back parking lot. We'll tell you more about that, but there will be people in the front parking lot. So our local outreach, again, is we have Adam's Angels that will be here on Christmas Day. What they need are sleeping bags and backpacks. And if you don't want to shop outside, in a store, you can go to Amazon. You can go to smileamazon.com, and a portion of that will come to Unity of Santa Barbara, but you can ship them to our office. I know Sherry's just thrilled, but you can bring sleeping bags and backpacks, and we can receive them before Christmas. Then we can give that to them. We also have a sock drive going on and a non-perishable food, and I believe most of that, or some of that, will go to Showers of Blessings, but continue to, you can have socks shipped also. All right. So thank you all for being part of our incredible Christmas unfolding here, holiday time. And I'm going to invite Bob DiDamante. It's actually your birthday on Wednesday, isn't it, Bob? Yeah. So here's Bob to tell you more.
Oh, I will take that. Thank you.
I know, I'm stealing your stuff.
So what I said earlier about we're up to stuff here, that's not certainly not an understatement. And it's really wonderful, which actually brings us to something that we're still maintaining, still going. We happen to have what's called a blessing registry. And that blessing registry allows you to, if you're called, to help in a particular area in how we conduct our operations here, whether it's to create business cards or computers or software. There's an opportunity to make a contribution towards that. And as you're called to that, we would very much appreciate it in every single way. And in fact, you can go to our website and you can actually see a listing of our various categories of contributions, and you can make it monthly or annual or whatever it might be. But it's a way of giving back in a way that feels tangible to you, something that's more real, etc. So again, for those of you who are outside, to the cast of thousands out there, we will be maintaining our board, which shows what we're doing. And we've actually attracted close to $35,000 to date. So that's a big hand, a big thank you for the many of you who have contributed. And if you're called to give more, or if you're called to, this isn't something you've done before, we would certainly welcome that. You can just hear the list of things we're doing. And so Reverend Heidi, thank you for being the spark plug for so many things that we have going here, for sure. So again, I'll be manning the board out there, and I will shake your hand personally, but I'll be wearing a face mask if you make a contribution. The next thing we'd like to mention is this time of year, for the past number of years, we've provided a staff bonus to our many, many staff members. And I say many, many. We have paid staff and we also have volunteers. But having been on the financial team for over 5 years, I've had a firsthand look at how much time and energy these people and passion and running around that they do. It's really, it's amazing. It's amazing. And their willingness to step up for whatever things, and certainly during COVID, this has been a time where people have had to figure out how to do marketing that they haven't done before, and how to do this and how to do that, and how to do the audio-visual team. You can't see them, but they're actually doing somersaults pretty much throughout the services. So they do a wonderful job, and so both to Penny and Zen, our new addition, and certainly to our band as well, and Randy and Whitty, etc. We have an entirely, what a group. Oh, gosh. It's a real honor for me to be here to actually celebrate them. So it's my gift to you guys, because you're really wonderful, actually. So I'd like you to join me in our peace song, which is a perfect time to really celebrate. So if those of us outside, you can sing this is, so join us. And I'm not sure how they're going to play this, but 1, 2, 3. And join us in the prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. I am that light. The love of God enfolds us. I am that love. The power of God protects us. I am that power. The presence of God watches over us. I am that presence. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. And thank you to all the volunteers, the audiovisual team, the people outside. Thank you, and have a wonderful day. Thank you.
Thank you.